Adam, I love what Poles is doing. You know, I'm going to agree with Adam, actually. Roquan Smith was a great player, Juice. I liked having him here. I remember the day we drafted him in 2018. You and I were live on the Outcasts when we were doing that in our past life over at SM, and we were stoked on it. You know, it was a big pick. We're linebacker. You know, we have a very rich lineage of linebackers. If you're a Chicago Bears fan, and Roquan Smith coming in, we believed he could be that guy, and he really was a very good. He was a big staple in this defense. He struggled here and there. This contract stuff got really weird with him, but it kind of comes down to this: he wanted a ton of money, and I don't value an inside linebacker as a premium position in today's NFL. I don't. So, like, the fact that they got rid of, I mean, does it suck that we only I guess that, it's 4 years ago, right? 2018 is 4 years ago. It's 2022. So 4 years ago, we put a first round pick. We take a first round pick. We get a second. What do we get? A second and a fifth?
And another linebacker that's been on like 17 million teams since last year. So just a guy, special teamer. Yeah.
So I mean, I'm cool with the Juice. Like, I don't know if there's like why there's outrage on it. Like, this is a team being built in a new vision. So you got to you have to give these guys the chance to build the team in their vision. If you looked at Roquan as a building block, I guess I understand and I see your pain, and I'm sorry about that. But listen, he's stacking up picks and he's stacking up cash. Yeah. And that might be a very big thing going forward, because it looks like the best football player on your team, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm going to say it. The best football player on your team right now, at least in my mind, is Justin Fields. Now that Roquan's gone. So you got to take any chance you get to protect that guy, whether it's money for your cap space, whether it's stacking up on picks, getting him some actual targets, getting him some protection on cheap. Go do it. So I'm cool with it.
Buzz, I want to build on that last point that you had. I thought it was perfectly said. This whole thing for Ryan Poles, as of right now, is going to fail or succeed on the back of Justin Fields. And if you don't do everything in your power to surround that kid with offensive line help, with wide receivers, with another tight end, he has good running backs. They're trying to help him look at what's going on in the NFL. Jalen Hurts is unbelievable this year.
Oh, yeah.
Going into it, did we really think that he was that great of a player? But he's got so many weapons around him that it's allowing that talent to show quicker within the development.
Right.
I look at the Bears as a franchise, and like this trade I think in some ways you could almost announce it as the time where Bears fans started to realize that like linebackers in general, they're great. And this franchise has a million different names between Urlacher and, Mike Singletary.
Right.
You know what? The NFL has changed. It is not that game anymore. So to sit and say that linebackers are that valuable, I mean, don't get me wrong. This defense is going to have to stop somebody. We saw it on Sunday.
Right.
But look how easily the Ravens filled that need when they were ready to contend. A second and a fifth.
That's a perfect point to put. That's a perfect point to get to it. I'm not trying to say that they don't hold value, but dime a dozen, dog. It's just today. I'm sorry. It's today. They went. Right. You're right. They were starting to compete. They noticed a hole that they had, and they go and they give a second and a fifth and a no name over to get Roquan Smith, who is looked at as one of the premier talents at that position in the league. So either Poles got fleeced, or this is what the going rate is, and he didn't want to pay him. And now, again, I'm fine with it because I want to see what he does with it.
Sure. And to like this whole Bears thing, it's time to move away from our historical values of hold them down to 17 points and score 18. Like I am tired of going to Bears games and just looking at the same loss over and over and over again.
Oh, you can't score.
Right. Which, like, if you really truly believe in Eberflus and they trade this guy and you think that he's able to identify talent like Shaquille Leonard, who was over in that system in the same spot, you know where he was drafted? In the second round. He's a second round pick. He's a guy that can be coached up. They just acquired another second round pick. So maybe you're looking in the first early at, a playmaking wide receiver or a left tackle that you believe more in than Braxton Jones. But what this does is this just allows Ryan Poles to fill his image. And at the end of the day, like, we can't sit here and keep knocking our head against the wall of failing in the same way over and over and over again, where we expect a young quarterback to make chicken salad out of chicken shit.
Right.
Because that's exactly what has happened to any big-time quarterback that this franchise has drafted. They invest so much money on the defensive side, and then they just go, hey, go be that dude. Well, that's not how the NFL works. The best quarterbacks getting into their prime, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, they had Tyreek Hill and Stephon Diggs for some of their career when they were coming up. That's what you need. So enough of like trying to just knock your head against the wall of like, yeah, I'm going to invest in this linebacker with a top pick and invest all my money on this side of the ball. Nobody plays defense anymore, man. And they don't want to play defense. So what's the point of sitting here with this huge asset, 26 years old, I get it. But I love it. I love that Ryan Poles put his nuts on the table.
I gotta agree with that. I said,
you know what? This guy isn't in my future.
Right.
But you know what? I'm going to replace him through the draft, and I feel confident enough that I can identify that player.
Yeah, no, I gotta agree with you. He picked a fucking lane, and it's funny now, kind of seeing where it's going, and I'm guilty of this, and I'll be honest with everybody on the show that listens to the show religiously that hasn't heard my takes on it or whatever. But I'm guilty of this. I fucking hated it. When we went into the year, I'm bitching about the line. I'm bitching about the receiver core. I mean, I'm bitching, and I'm tired of it. And then you have all these, and I'm going to throw some shots because that's what we do. You have all these people on Twitter with their podcast. I'm not saying ours is better than anybody else's or our takes are better than anybody else's, but you have all these people on Twitter. Oh, it's going to be fine. He's going to be fine. Bears are going to be better than you think. No, they're going to suck. They're going to suck because he's putting himself in position in the future to not suck. I don't know if Ryan Poles is making the right decisions, Juice. I have no fucking clue, but I like the direction it's going because it's different. It's a different direction. That's what I like about it. If he goes out and he drafts duds, then okay. I guess we were all fucking wrong. But I think that we could all admit here, Roquan Smith still being here wouldn't change that because if you can't score in today's NFL, you're not going to fucking win. $100+ million of cap space. What was it? 8 draft picks? 9 draft picks?
9 draft picks.
9 draft picks in the next upcoming draft. Okay. And guess what? The trade deadline's tomorrow. Monty's been rumored to move. I don't know how true that is. I'm not advocating for that because, there are still a couple players I have soft spots for. I try not to do that. As I get older, I kind of lost that, but I do, you know what I'm saying? Like when I told you I don't buy jerseys anymore, No,
well, soft spots too in general for you. That's a tough, that's a tough spot to find in your heart.
I know. And I like Monty, man. I fucking love Monty. I think he's a hard-nosed running back. I think that he's really embodies what I guess the Bears organization has been, in the running game for pretty much my whole life. I'd hate to see him go, but if we're going to keep piling on assets and you got a guy because he's in a contract year, if you're going to keep piling on assets and you got Khalil Herbert sitting there, who's been a fucking dog, I'm okay. Keep piling up the assets, get people to protect Justin Fields on your line. Miss me with this Tevin Jenkins, Larry Borum shit. I don't care. I need some solidified people along with those guys to fucking not put all this pressure on them. Protect Fields, get a decent fucking offense out there, get some targets, and ride. That's where I'm at with it. I'm happy right now with what they're doing. I think that they still have a couple pieces on the defense that they even brought in. You have Jaquan Brisker. Everybody loves him. Eddie Jackson seems to be fucking doing real well. You got arguably a $100 million cornerback soon on your team.
Pay that man already.
Yeah, no shit. Jalen Johnson. So fill in some holes where you got to fill in some holes, man. That's all you got. I know there's a lot of them, but you got money and you got picks. You can start filling them in.